What is up, crew? Welcome to another episode of Seek the Edge podcast, where our goal is to challenge you outside of your comfort zone, here mentally more than anything, so you can see the God-given potential within you and within every other person you come in contact with. And today, drum roll please, we have one of my closest friends. What I'm going to call you all the things. You're a friend. You're a little sister to me. You do amazing content for us on the back end.
Thank you.
Her name is Sophia. I met her at a coffee shop, and Soph is here to drill me with questions. And I'm just excited to have you be a part of this. It's so crazy.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Because I know more about you than more people know.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I'm kind of questioning it right now. I'm kind of questioning.
So I'm gonna ask you some good questions.
Yeah. I'm like, she's behind the scenes. She's coming in front of the scenes, baby. So what we're gonna do, Soph, initially is I'm just gonna share an update with Post-100 miler and what I'm prepping up for this weekend. Because this will drop on Thursday, so it's before I fly out to DC for this crazy event that I'm doing. And then we're just going to rip off some questions, and feel free to interject me, ask me questions, anything. Okay? So to bring y'all back a little bit, I just got done with my first ever, and potentially last, 100-mile ultra that was December 30th, and then went through January 1st. It was across the years. It was in Arizona. So can contest to this. It was the craziest and amazing and worst experience all combined into one. Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, it was something that challenged me mentally, not just those days that I competed in it and finished the 100-miler, but leading up to it. And that was really important to me to challenge myself during that time frame, because last year was a pretty transformative year for me personally and professionally.
Changing the brand.
I adjusted and rebranded from EmpowHER Fitness to expand, and I had many people that helped me along the way with that, which I'm really grateful for, but that really stretched me mentally. I made a big decision in my personal life that was completely stepping into the unknown. And so I felt like I needed something, so just to really reground myself and to give myself a goal and a focus and an intention when there was so much unknown around me. Allowing myself to be dialed in towards a specific goal was really helpful. So that whole prep was wild. I hated running before it. Honestly, to this day, hate's a strong word. I still strongly dislike running. However, I always have to heart check myself that, Kelsey, you have the ability to run, and not everybody has the ability. So even if I don't enjoy the treadmill and running, I still challenge myself to do it because I can.
Yep.
But I got the 100, finished the 100. That was a wild ride. For those that are curious about the experience, go back to the post-race 100 podcast I did. It's probably 5 or 6 episodes ago. Yeah. But I thought, keyword thought, that transitioning from prepping up for the 100-miler to then prep for HYROX was a great idea, because I was running more, and with HYROX, let me actually pull up what HYROX is and I'll explain it to you. But with HYROX, it's a running and lifting event. And if you know me, you know I love lifting. Probably not so much sometimes. But with this event, so let me pull it up. So you run a 1K run. So it's about 0.6 miles. Yeah, 0.6 miles. Might be 0.8. Whatever, 0.6 or 0.8. We can do the math later. So you do a 1K run, and then you row a 1,000-meter ski erg. And then it's a 1K run, and then you do a 50-meter sled push.
So what is it all in total of running?
I think it's sort of like 4 or 5 miles. Yeah. But it's like speed miles. Like you're not doing my 100-mile pace. Yeah. You're running. Yeah. So 1K run, ski erg, 1K run, 225-pound, 50-meter sled push, 1K run, I think it's 170-pound sled pull, 1K run, 80-meter burpee broad jumps, 1K run, 1,000-meter rowing, 1K run, 200-meter farmer's carry with 35 pounds in each hand, 1K run, 100-meter sandbag lunges. I think it's about 20-pound sandbag on your back. Crazy. And then 1K run, and finishing up. Are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? You're finishing up with 100 wall balls. And so this event, HYROX, has been booming over the last probably year to 2 years. Yeah, it's popping. And I can't tell if it's just because I follow more people that are doing it, or if it's like actually really popping
like
up.
So many people are doing it.
There's a lot of people. Yeah.
I want to do one.
Oh, we're going to get her to do one. I promise you. But I thought it would be a good idea to transition from the 100 to HYROX, right? Because I'm like, oh, I'm running more. Yeah. I'm in better shape. Like, this is a great idea. I was sadly mistaken. I took time off. Like, I took a week to allow my body to recover.
That's not a long time.
I know. Listen, though. I took about a week to let my body recover. Yeah. And then I felt really good that second week. My body felt good. I was excited. So you signed up? Again. No, I signed up last November. Oh. So I already signed up for this before I even did the 100.
Wow.
So I was really proactive. I was very proud of myself. But I got into that second week and I felt decent. But now I'm reflecting back on it. I don't even think it was just physically, but I think I put them too quick back to back because it was harder on my body than I thought it was, not just from the running 100 miles, but the prep leading up to it was just a lot of time commitment, physical exhaustion. I tried to fuel my body decently, but I wasn't perfect with it by any means. And now that I'm about to leave for DC literally in 4 days to compete in this on Sunday. I think it's March 29th to give context. Yeah. And I'm excited.
No, Saturday.
No, I compete Sunday. Yeah, I compete Sunday. And I'm in the solo. So I do that whole thing. I do it solo. There's different ones that are partners where, like, let's say if me and you partner up, it's called doubles. Like, we can split up the lifting part of it, and then but we have to run together. Yeah. Or there's a part that's called a relay where you take a stretch and then I take a stretch and then two other people take stretches.
Why did you only want to sign up for the singles?
Because I'm a full send human. No, this is my thinking. All right. And take it for what it's worth. I think if you do the hardest thing first, it can only get easier from there. Okay. And so personally, I'm like, let's send it. Like, let's do the solo. It's going to be challenging. But if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And then I think also it'll give me the perspective of if I then do a doubles or a relay, I'm like, oh, cool. Like,
how many are in the relay?
Do it. 4 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 people. So a lot. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's a little bit easier than the solo. With respects to, like, you're not gassing out for like an hour and a half. Right. You have a certain stretch of it. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do this upcoming weekend. You're not coming with me.
I know, but I'm ready for you.
You need to give me your energy, to be honest with you.
I'm just ready for the content to come out of it.
Oh my gosh. No content shall be revealed from HYROX. But
there will be, don't you worry.
It might be me tapping out. So these events, so if they take
pictures.
You take pictures, but they take between an hour and like the pros do it around an hour. I'm not a pro, but I might project myself like around an hour.
What's your goal?
30 to an hour 40, which is not. I think that's
reasonable because I see so many my TikTok for you page.
Geez. It's our age gap. I don't have a TikTok. I don't desire a TikTok.
Well, so I follow one girl, and she obviously, I think she's a pro. We were talking about her, how she's going to the DC one, and she finished it in like an hour 6, hour 10.
Yeah, that's
so 20 minutes between. I think you can get an hour 30 easily.
Yeah, and I shared this on my social though. I have not been, which is probably going to piggyback some of your questions. I haven't been as dedicated to the process as I would need to do well in this event. And I always like to check myself of, okay, Kels, are you just not keeping promises to yourself? Or, hey, is it you need to give yourself some time to like chill out for a little bit? And I think it was a combination of both. For me, I think there's some.
I mean, life hit hard after the 100 for sure.
Yeah, I think there were some times where, dude, I could have followed through with that, and I just didn't. And I have to own it. I can't make excuses for it. I just need to own it, say, okay, I didn't keep that promise. But then I also need to reflect back and say, okay, yeah, maybe you did push your body a little bit hard, and that's why I'm excited post HYROX, honestly, more than anything, to kind of get back to just the basics, the lifting, fueling my body well, consistently sleeping on certain times, and being in
back to normal routine.
Just the routine and more of the. I'll get to your question of this, but more of also the muscle development aspect, because what I realized, and this was more of a retroactive thinking process, where I didn't lose all my muscle, right? And I'm not saying I want to be big and massive and not fit through a door, but through the training for the 100 and then switching to HYROX, just because I had to do a lot more cardio for it, I did lose a decent amount of muscle mass.
But then you're
on
also
my
not
body.
like strength training as much as you were.
And I didn't realize I preach about this, right? Strength training for women, and it's important. But it was like a light bulb went off my brain about a week and a half ago. I was like, why do I just not feel that good? My body comp doesn't feel that good. I feel really exhausted and tired. I like feel weaker when I'm doing some of more of the workouts that you would think I would do better in because my cardio is better.
Right.
And then the light bulb went off of like, Kelsey, because you really haven't prioritized much muscle development. I've been trying to maintain, like I still strength train 3 to 4 days a week. But I'm not like pushing that capacity at all. And it makes sense with everything that I was feeling because hormonally I haven't been feeling as good as what I have felt in the past.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's also your muscles a massive influence in your hormone health too. And so it just made me reinforce the belief that muscle is so important for anybody, but for specifically women, because I feel more exhausted and I feel more lethargic. And it's like, yeah, because I've spiked my cortisol and just have overstressed my body over time. And I think that's what I'm excited is just to get back to feeling really good.
Like how Kelsey used to feel.
Oh, y'all better watch out. If y'all think I'm operating, y'all better watch out, baby. So as much as I'm excited for HYROX, I'm excited to see the event and the experience. But I'm honestly,
I think you're going to love it.
Yeah, that might happen.
Yeah.
I think the competitive juices will come out.
Yeah.
But I'm also excited to get back to the basics and not have so much running in my training. And just focus a lot on like the muscle development and strength part of it. So
okay, are you ready for my first question?
No, I want to ask you a question
Why?
first.
No.
Okay, one question. So over the years, you've gotten to know me, right? We went from me coming to work at the coffee shop and you being the blessing of my life that helps me every morning to being almost like a little sister to me and friend, to then doing a lot of stuff on the back end for the podcast and just also getting excited about our events. And I'm going to gas you up for a second, then I'm going to ask you a question, is I was reflecting back on this a couple weeks ago about the people in my life and who's I'm really close with. And there was a commonality between all of them. A lot of the girls in my life that I really value. And I've said to you, I mean, you're young. You're very young. Yeah. But you don't act like it at all. And you have such a willingness to put yourself in environments and like you'll text me and be like, hey, can I help you with this? Or, hey, can I do this? Or, hey, like amazing job on this. Like you'll put yourself out there and you'll shoot your shot. And I don't even think you're realizing you're shooting it. But so many people would hold themselves back of like, oh, I'm not going to text them or I'm not going to message them or I'm not going to do that. And because you've continually put yourself out there, one, it's made me really be inspired by you and admire you to that capacity. I got you. But also just really want to have you in my life because I value people like that. And you're such a great human. So I just want to say thank you for continuing to like grow into the woman that you are, because you're crazy young. And the fact that this is going to compound over years, the world better watch out. I know, dude. She didn't even hit the number 20 yet, but it's been incredible. So thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you. I mean, seriously, I don't think you understand how much I look up to you. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So the question to you, and then you can start firing at me. What way have you seen me grow the most in the past 5 years?
5 years?
Maybe 4 years, however long that I've known you.
Okay. Definitely your community.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I always mess up her name. It's Brenda, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. We were working out at the Armory one day, and she told Kels that she's a collector of people. And, like, when I knew Kelsey, like, when I first met her, I was at work, and I was just talking to her about my day or just whatever. And, I mean, little did I know that it would create such a big friendship and then, like, also just open so many doors of, like, workout plans. I'm doing her social media, something that I want to do in my future, or But she told Kelsey that she collects all these people, and I have just seen her community grow over the past couple of years between XYL events, friendships, people, Bible study groups. Like, it's just grown so much.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That means a lot. And I did not throw the question out there
Yeah.
to make me feel good.
Yeah.
But I think it's important also for the people that are listening, like gather information by people around you that care about you. Because also we'll have blind spots that we don't realize that we have. And so asking the people that really do care about you are important. I'll ask you my blind spot off air. I'm just kidding.
Off air.
No, let's ask it on air. What do you think is my biggest blind spot?
I don't think you know how to tell yourself to stop or to say no to things. Literally HYROX and 100 back to back. I would have been like, after the 100,
It sounds
we're
like
done.
a good idea. It sounds like a great idea.
I just don't think you know how to like calm down.
So
not
okay,
calm down,
so
but you know what I mean.
This is so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna deviate, and then I'm gonna let you
Okay.
ask your questions. And maybe my perception of myself is off, which I'm very open to.
Okay.
But I think that is such a common perception
Yeah.
of me that people see is like, she's just going. She does this and then does this and have this event. And I think, and this is not to negate what you think, because it's a blind spot. If it's a blind spot, I don't see it, right? That's the whole point of it. But, and I try to be reflective of this because I get that feedback from other people. But I also think there's so many moments that I have like really quiet, still, calm
for sure.
moments.
I think, for
that,
sure.
But it allows, maybe this is, maybe I'm backtracking because I just said that HYROX is kind of crazy. But that allow me to continue to push because I'm not like putting my foot on the gas pedal all the time. I do have my foot on the brake a lot, but I don't show myself sleeping, you know, like taking a nap at certain times. So, but I always try to be reflective of that, of like, okay, no, Kels, is that true?
I'm so tall.
Or are you able to put your foot on the brake? And I think that's an ever evolving growth journey for me. I think right now I'm in very much like a sprint season.
I mean, what I mean by that is like, obviously you're go, and I know you allow yourself time, but I feel like at some of it, you don't give yourself enough credit for what you do. I mean, like, look at what you've created. Like, I mean, to the women that you've inspired, like all of that, like you don't give yourself enough credit for what you've done. And then you always are like pushing for more when in reality, you've already like done what most people can't. So
that's been a big area. And this has been the mindset shift for me. And once again, then I'll let you ask some questions. But what has been the biggest growth for me over the past 3 months, like since the beginning of 25, has been this almost epiphany for me of allowing to see the things in my life as like, yes, I know I've had to put effort towards them and help build them, but allowing to see things in my life as blessings, and not to make it all about God, but like blessings from God versus what I have built personally. Because for the longest time, or built, yes, with other people, but it was more of like a Kelsey reliance. Like look what you've built, or look what areas that this needs to improve. Like, look what you need to improve. And it's so much of a Kelsey reliance and a self-reliance, which that pressure and heat can feel like a lot. And what has been, I've grown in my faith a lot over the last 3 months.
That's another thing
that's big. But what has been such an epiphany for me, and I hope that somebody's out there listening to this, is all of these things. And it's not that I'm diminishing myself, because I know I still have to put effort towards them. But the people in my life that have helped me build this, or the blessings that have come, the business, the clients, the events, like it really, they are all gifts from God. And when I can put the reliance in Him, it's not that I'm chilling back and doing nothing, right? Like I still need to be active in the process. But when it goes from a Kelsey reliance or a self-reliance to more of a God reliance, and being so grateful for like the people that are around me to help me build this, it has taken so much pressure off me. And that pressure doesn't mean that I, like I said, just slack. It makes me want to run further and not necessarily do more, like from like the sake of doing more, but build better than just look what Kelsey has done. And so, yes, I do want to give myself credit for like, I have to show up. But if I take all the credit, that means if it's amazing, it's on me. That means if it's terrible, it's on me. And for me to switch that thought process of, yes, taking accountability, but also seeing everything as blessings from God or lessons from God, that has been transformative. And it's allowed me this level of humility that, once again, it's not self-diminishing, but it's really almost giving due where dues are paid, or it's giving credit where credit is due, where it's like, yeah, God's working amazing things in here. And yes, I got to show up, and yes, I got to do the things, but I can't be the one to lead it. I have to let him lead it in the forefront. Does that make any sense?
It does.
It is. That has been massive for me. And I have to continually work, and I've talked to you about this. I think maybe we've talked about it, where before I make a big decision, or like I can so easily go 0 to 100. Let's figure this out. Let's, reach out to these sponsors. Let's contact this, whatever. Like, you want me to figure something out? I can do it. But that doesn't always mean it's beneficial. And I've really been trying to, in this season of growth for the business and personal growth, is pray about it before I try to manpower it. And it's hard, so oh my gosh, because I'll get into my day and I'll just want to go and I'll just want to do it, and then I'm like, why isn't it working? And then I get frustrated. And it's like, Kels,
because you didn't pray about
pause. Let him into these decisions.
I know.
Let him build what vision he's given you for this, and which actually has completely opened up a new door from the way that I want to expand this business that I wouldn't have had if I didn't pray about it first. So I don't know how I got on that tangent, but that has been transformative for me.
Yeah. I know it has. It's been good.
All right, I'm going to let you ask your questions.
Okay. My first question for Kelsey is, I want you to be real, be raw
I'll be
about
honest.
it.
I'll be honest.
What are your true and honest thoughts about the HYROX competition coming up? And what do you think will be your best and most challenging station?
Oh, that's good. Well, I think I was pretty honest initially with it. Like, I am excited to see the event, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not very excited to do it. And I don't know if that's just because it's going to be a lot of hard work for over an hour and a half.
We talked, you said that once you get there, you'll be ready.
I think once I get in that, I think the competitive juices are going to turn on. And I'll be like, let's go, baby. So initially I'm like, yeah, I'm excited, kind of not. But I think once I get there, it's like the internal Kelsey's going to come up. The hardest station, honestly, it's the running. Like,
really?
I could do any of the strength movements. Give me those all day. I'll be a happy human.
What about the running? 100 wall balls? Like, that sounds awful to me.
It doesn't sound fun, but it sounds better to me than running. I would rather do 100 wall balls than do a mile workout. Facts.
Not me.
Facts.
No.
So that's my answer for
you.
Oh, shoot. That's funny.
Okay. Let's go back up. So I said in my notes, I know that you've touched on this in past episodes, and but mentally and physically, what kept you going during those hard times during the 100?
People around me.
Really?
Bar none. People around me. I would not have finished. I'm going to say this with fact.
Okay.
I would not have finished if it weren't for the people around me.
Yeah. You
Period.
had a good crew go down with you.
Bar, end of none. No question about it. Those people around me, Zach, Taylor, my dad, my mom, Dallin, Victoria, like everybody around me, when it was probably 3 a.m. And I have a picture of this. I have this massive
where it's
Ohio State jacket on. And I couldn't even walk for that time. Like
What mile were you on?
This was probably 48.
Yeah.
I didn't even hit 50 yet.
Halfway.
I was at like, how am I ever going to finish this? And if it weren't for Zach came up and he's like, Kelsey goes, finish one more lap and then you can sleep for an hour. And I wouldn't have told myself to do that. And then when I woke up that next morning, I was when I say next morning, the next hour, it was still really early. But I woke up that next hour and I've never felt such bad nerve pain in my feet. I couldn't even put pressure on my feet, let alone run 52 miles in them. But my dad showed up for me, and my mom showed up for me, and Zach showed up for me, and Taylor showed up for me. And I'm like, if they can run these laps with me, I can finish it. And I remember we were on the first part with my dad, and he's like, well, what are you doing right now? Meaning, are you running for X amount of time and walking? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to finish it. He goes, let's do this. He goes, let's run for, I can't remember, maybe 3 minutes, let's walk for, I think it was like 2.5, something like that. And without that strategy, I wouldn't have finished it.
Because you just got your like head off of, oh, the finish line is
like
50
I
miles
needed
away.
to lean on those people around me. And that's what got me through it, which piggybacks off the episode that we're going to drop next week with Britt, is like community was such a big theme with it. Big. And having those people in your life that don't allow you, like they're there to care for you, right? Like I wasn't going to die doing this 100. If that was the case, they would tell me, Kels, like chill out, you know? But they held the line for me when my brain wanted to deviate. Like I never externally told them I want to quit. Like I thought it 1,000 times, but I never said it out of my mouth. But not one of them, even my mom included, even though she's probably thinking it, not one of them said, Kels, why don't you just quit?
You also had so many people cheering you on at home.
The text that I got, like it just, I remember I was in the bathroom real quick. I was in the bathroom and this was maybe mile 68. Still had 32 miles to go. And I was, once again, I started bawling. Like, I was just crying. And I opened up my phone, and I didn't do this the entire race. I opened up my phone, and I started going to my messages, and I just started scrolling. And I saw the text of, like, dude, you got this. See, I saw them following my journey, and on miles 50, they messaged me on mile, you know, the voice memos. And I'm like, Kels, I am so incredibly grateful for the community that I have for me, and it's not just me. I mean, I remember, well, because you had the tracking link. I remember going to bed, and I was like, okay, let's hope she's at 50 when I wake up. And then you were like way past it, and I'm like, dude, that is Kelsey. She did it. Man. I mean, and also Gary would always, he would call me and be like, how's our girl doing? How is she doing? Because, you know, he can't text. He had some struggles with that. But you had so many people cheering you on, and I feel like that most definitely was the fire underneath your butt. So those are the blessings in my life, you know, and I don't take credit for that. Like, yes, I have to have a part in building those relationships, but those are the people that I've been blessed with in my life. And for me to not show up for myself and for them is doing a disservice to everybody around me. And so it's really important to me for that. And I'm so grateful for that. And also you like, inspired so many people by just doing that. Like, insane. I mean, I would never run 100 miles, but... Don't say, hey, I said that too. I'm never going to. Never. Okay. So that's what I would say. It's the people around me. People around you. Get good people around you. Okay. Obviously, for me and so many other people around you in your community know you are such a wonderful woman, and better yet, such a great leader. But how do you stay so strong and always willing to be great? Because as for me, sometimes it's hard for me to always want to keep going and doing the hard thing. So my question for you is, how do you always want to do more? And what is your advice for someone who just finished that very hard thing and doesn't know what to do next with their life? Say that first part again, because I want to pull something out with it. How do you always keep going when everything is so hard and you stay so strong through it? That's the part. Is there's a lot of doubt sometimes and questioning, and I don't have always this voice of, you can do it, Kels. Like I try to communicate that with myself, and over time I've been able to like neuroplasticity build my brain up to help me versus hurt me a lot. But I still have those, I call them ants, automatic negative thoughts. I still have those ants in my brain that love to form ant hills and take over. And what I never want to paint the picture, which I think sometimes people can perceive this of like, she never has a bad day. She never misses a workout. She never does this. And it's like, no, that happens. Yeah. So how do you stay so strong with all of those negative, the ants? How do you go past those hills or mountains that come in between your life? I've realized they're lies. Okay. I've realized those automatic negative thoughts, as much as they can feel so true. They're like doubts. And they can feel so convincing. Every single one of them are lies. Yeah. And I've realized this first through more of an individual lens of there were so many doubts and questions and negative thoughts in my fitness journey or building a business that I realized literally are just not true. Like I broke those beliefs, which is why we have XYL events, because I needed to break a belief that those thoughts are not true. And I needed to
Right.
physically see it.
Mhm.
But then I take this to the next level, and from a faith lens
Yeah.
is you have, and myself has so much God-given potential. And because of that, and not to make this entire thing about it, but what would the enemy want to do?
Yeah.
He would want to plant those doubts.
Mhm.
He would want to plant those questions. He would want to plant those hesitations because he knows you're going to be such a powerful person
He
to
doesn't want you
help
to get
other
there.
people. And so if I was an enemy, I'd be like, let's overload those
Yeah.
thoughts, baby. Let's put every question and doubt and hesitation in her brain.
Yep.
Not that her potential isn't that, but if I can get her mind to stop and not even seek what
Yeah.
that potential is, ooh, I won.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I really do. This past weekend was a beautiful example. Nothing is going terrible, right? Like
Okay.
nothing is going terrible in my personal life and
Mhm.
business life, but those ants still came up.
Yep.
I was tired, I was exhausted, so I was more susceptible to those ants taking
Mhm.
over. And I had to pause and remember those thoughts are not mine.
Right.
They're not mine. They're not even from me. Like those are not true.
Mhm.
And so sometimes when I view it too of, okay, this is a test.
Mhm.
I'm either going to allow those ants and negative thoughts to take hold of me and to prove them right,
Mhm.
which they're lies, or this is test day, baby.
Yep.
All right, this is a test. Am I going to succumb to those thoughts and follow through with them? Or am I going to rise above them? And that doesn't mean just flip on the positive gene,
Right.
but sometimes it means doing things that prove those thoughts wrong. So you know what? It's not going to fix everything, but I'm going to go work out
Yeah.
instead. I'm going to put a podcast in that
Go for
puts
a walk.
good words in my
Mhm.
ear versus listening to those negative thoughts
Yeah.
there. And I also then question them of like, is that true? Or why are those coming in? Sometimes it's
Mhm.
just, they're just like this past weekend, they were just there. There was no reason for them. I was just a
Right.
little bit tired. But sometimes we got to dig a little bit deeper of like, well, why am I thinking those things? And that's
Yep.
where we talked about in Brian's podcast, getting to the why
Yeah.
and understanding how do I either work through that or heal whatever that
Yeah.
thing is. Those don't have power over me
Mhm.
anymore. And so that person listening that feels, man, I deviate and I don't feel as strong. One, you're human.
Yeah.
You will have those bad days or
Right.
not bad days. You're going to have those bad moments. Know that you're
Mhm.
human. But number two, that stuff ain't true.
Yep.
Those stories are not true. Those thoughts are not true. And whenever you look at them as lies versus look at them as truths and then take action to prove those bad boys wrong in some
Yeah.
way or allow them to not take hold of you, you better watch out because that is everything that the enemy does not
Yep.
want. He doesn't want you to realize that those are lies.
Right.
And so allow yourself to not believe them.
Mhm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So like what advice would you give someone who just finished, say, an 100 miler
Mhm.
and they feel like they met the finish line?
Oh, you ain't even close, Betty.
Right.
Oh, you are
So,
not
like,
even
what,
close.
what and they don't know what to do with their life. What
Yeah.
what are you like, like how Britt was saying she finished the full marathon.
Yeah.
And she didn't feel complete
Mhm.
and they don't know what to do with their life.
Mm-hmm. There's a few different ways I could take
Yeah.
this.
Take wherever
One
you
is
wanna
the
go.
Brit conversation,
Right.
which we're going to drop next week, where it's
Mhm.
I continually set these next goals and I never feel fulfilled.
Right.
That's a different conversation of, okay, what's missing in your life that you need to
Yeah.
keep getting this
You need to
validation
have that
externally,
conversation with
right?
yourself,
So
right.
that's one direction
Right.
that we could take it. But then also I know other people that they'll finish this thing and they think, well,
We're done.
I guess that's all that I had in me.
I want you to
guess
take it in
that's
that
my
direction.
potential.
Yeah.
In that conversation, oh, you ain't even close. And this doesn't even need to be physical. This can be personal. This can be business. You
Right.
have so much more within you that if you only knew the potential inside, you would realize that thing that you just finished, oh, it is
Is
just
nothing compared to
like
yeah.
chipping an ounce of what's within you there.
Yeah.
And this doesn't mean just set another event date goal. It
Mhm.
can, but continually step out of your comfort zone. Actually, in the process, I've had this outline for this book written for literally 8 months,
Yeah.
the book that I have. And the ending chapter, I'm going to give it, but the ending chapter, it's a whole progression of like if you have this dream or this nudge in your heart, how do you actually make it come to fruition? Because so many people have dreams and goals and aspirations, but they let them die.
Yeah.
And so I realized through the different things that I've done, it's the same framework I've used for everything. But the last chapter is called New Arenas. And what this means is people think when they step into the arena and do this uncomfortable thing that, okay, once I get that and it's done, like I'm good, baby.
Yeah.
They don't realize the process just starts all over again. And that's not to scare somebody from that, but it's about to excite them to be, there's new levels to this game.
I mean, for sure it's scary, but like you said, that little piece of what they just completed is nothing compared to what
God wants to give you. Like, it's like the relationships, the business, the fitness goals, like there's so much. And if I could wake people up to their potential, everybody better watch out because there is so much more within them.
And I think it's so much, like, for me, like, thinking about it, that's why I asked the question, is because my half marathon's in October. And I'm going to be like, I know when I finish, I'm going to be like, I'm not training for another thing anytime soon. But I don't want that to happen because I want to, there's a question along, but I want to put something else on the calendar. And that, I'm going to do it already before you.
Yeah, go for it.
So you always talk about putting something on the calendar, something to look forward to or to achieve a big goal. You preach that all the time. We at XYL, clients, everything. How did you know that the 100 and HYROX was something that you wanted to accomplish on your big calendar?
It scared me.
Yeah.
It was, I talk sometimes about a misogi, doing something that is year defining for you. Because if you think back, so if, like, you know, the year that you graduated, right? What year did you graduate?
2023.
Like, probably last year, to be honest with you. Like, I know the year that I graduated, I know the year that I graduated college. Like, I know you haven't graduated college yet, but it's fine. But, like, I know those years, right? If you think back, well, what did I do 2021? What did I do 2022?
You can't.
Like, you can get into a monotonous loop where it's like, I wake up, I go train, I work, I do this. And that routine's good sometimes, right? But we don't continually seek things that excite us or scare us a little bit or are year defining in a way. Like, I know in 2020, was it 4? That was the year that I did it. Yeah, last year.
What?
24. I know that I ran 100 miles in 2024, right? I put memories on my calendar that I want to remember and go through that experience. And so you talked about, like, you're having this half marathon come up at the end of the year. And what a lot of people do is they'll train really hard for that event. That event comes, that event ends, and then you're like,
what do I do?
Now what?
Like, it gives,
now what?
For me, it gives me something to look forward to.
Exactly.
So, like, when that's over, I know, I'm going to be like, thank goodness I don't have to run anymore.
Yeah.
But also, what do I do? What do I do?
So this is so interesting. I'm so glad you brought it here. People talk about this, women, a lot in their fitness journey. Once I get to that goal, they think they can just start to sit back and chill. And it's like, no, that's a new standard for you. And it's not that running a half marathon is a new standard for you, but it's like, that's just the beginning. And that next thing, it might be a fitness related goal, or it might be like, hey, I'm going to do this in my life. I'm going to make this big decision. I'm going to put this as a goal. But I think to completely stop and be like, oh, I finished that thing. Okay, cool. I think is doing you a disservice.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope to challenge you in a way where it's like, yeah, it might be a fitness goal.
Right.
Or it might be something else that is challenging you to continually seek new levels within yourself.
Oh, I mean, it was the podcast episode. I forget what it was. I mean, maybe it was just you talking on your Instagram story, but it was like, you know, what's going to be your big thing that you remember 2025 by?
Yeah.
And I remember laying in bed and I was like, I don't have anything. I can think of, my birthday, you know, vacation, but what else? So then I was like, you know what? Obviously, maybe one day I'll run a full marathon.
One day.
But I could try to do it in a half marathon. So I remember texting you and being like, dude, I'm doing it. I'm going to full send it. Let's just see how it goes. Yeah. And then I was like, I don't want to do it alone. So I texted my mom and I was like, dude, we're doing this year. I don't care if you don't want to do it or not. You're doing it with me and we're going to run 13.1 miles.
So good. You'll remember that and you'll go through the process. Yeah. And that's also what's going to be so cool for you, which is why I challenge people to seek new levels or put dates on the calendar. Is like, yes, to remember by. That's cool. But it's also, you're going to grow so much in the process of this. That 100, that date was cool. Yeah, I finished it.
The medal was fine.
But actually got a belt buckle, actually, because it was 100. But the process at which you grow that can't be taken from you. And so that's why I continually set things and do things now is like, yeah, it's cool to challenge myself physically, but it's who I become in the process.
Yeah.
And that's with any big goal, which
Right.
is what I'm really excited for you about.
Oh, I'm excited, but I'm nervous.
And you're going to come up against that voice. We talked about those ants.
Yeah.
You are going to meet those ants face to face.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, okay, do I follow them when they say don't do this workout, when they say you can do it later? Do I listen to that automatic negative thought, or do I look at it in the face and say not today?
Not today.
And that's why those goals are so important, because you face it instead of allow life kind of happening to you. You're like, all right, come at me, try me, and you seek it, which that's
I think putting something on the calendars, I mean, I didn't even think about it that way. Like, and when I think about, last year, what did I do? I literally, the only big thing I could think of, 2023, I graduated.
Right.
Like, so that's why I think putting something on the calendar is so important. Like, I'm already thinking, what can I do in 2026?
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, so.
Work with me, you know.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what other ones I have. Okay.
These get me excited. Because I've been interviewing so many people, I don't talk too much about my perspective, so I get excited.
So, as you know, getting my foot into the fitness door, I mean, I did sports in high school, you know, but after that, I mean, we've talked, this can be a whole other question, but after all that stops, what in the world do you do? So getting my foot in the door was so hard. So if only I knew with the hard work and dedication, I would be so happy and proud of the progress I made. And just knowing that once your foot is in the door, you know, you can feel so good about the process that you've just completed. What would you tell someone right now and that is wishing that they could just get their foot in the door, but they don't know how to take the first steps?
Oh, that's good from a fitness standpoint.
Yeah.
That was me. So you go from being a part of a team, going to work out, and your coach telling you what to do till, okay, what do I do now? And then at least for me, I didn't have TikTok when I was your age, but I looked on Instagram and I was like, well, these people kind of have the body goals that I want, so maybe I'll just do what they do. And then, like, there are just so many voices that you get hit with that you just feel really defeated in the process. I
mean, like, not even just coming out of, like, high school, but when, like, I tore my ACL, and that was just, we're done. Like, it was, there's nothing you can do. And when I was done, I didn't even want to play soccer anymore, which I wish we can talk about that a different day, but I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. But I knew deep down, like, this is not the Sophia I knew. So why I can't get my foot in the door and I don't know how to.
Okay, you're talking about the whole thing of being proud of yourself. Like, that is exactly what you're saying right now is, how do I wake up? And especially, and you don't even have to have an ACL or a finish. This can be you're just in a really low momentum season. Like, you're just not feeling like yourself. You're not feeling good. Wake up, and your goal is to be proud of yourself. And what I mean by that is you keep commitments to yourself with what you said you're going to do. And so that doesn't look like doing a 2.5-hour workout and training for this crazy HYROX or doing this marathon. That means you wake up, you drink that glass of water that you said you're going to drink last night. You wake up, you go hit that workout that you really don't want to hit at 5 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning, but you do it because you know at the end you're going to be proud of yourself. And when you can go to bed and be proud of the woman that you were today, doesn't mean you're perfect. Oh, it doesn't mean you're perfect. It means we fall short sometimes. But at least you showed up for you and you kept commitments. And this then goes in the conversation of, I am not a perfect human. You know me. So if I fall short, I don't do certain things that I know that I should, or I don't keep commitments that I know I should. I'm not talking about perfection. But when you are in alignment with, I do what I say that I'm going to do, you will feel more like you and be more proud of yourself than you could ever imagine. And so I'm going to tell that person that's listening to this is start small. That might be like, I'm going to go for a 5-minute walk. You keep that commitment today. And then guess what? You keep it tomorrow. And then guess what? You keep it the next day. And then that will compound, and then you're going to be able to do more. That 5-minute walk's then going to turn into a strength training session. Then that's going to turn into potentially doing an XYL event or a, like, Shelba bodybuilding comp. And it doesn't have to, but you'll realize that that confidence will build. And it's not from how you look. It's not from what car you drive. It's not from what you own. It's from you keeping that commitment and you
just
being proud of you.
In yourself. I mean, when did I become like a client? It was literally December. And I just remembered, like, I wanted to do something, but what I don't have, you know, I could go down and walk on the treadmill, but I mean, like, I don't have anybody there to just, you know, lean my, you know, put all my, not my problems, because that's not what you're here for, but to have somebody there for me.
In your corner.
So, I mean, like, also, yeah, you can go on a 5-minute walk, but, like, lean into your community.
So
like,
good.
if you know, I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for my family, my friends, you know, everybody around me, you, like, you know, just lean into your community, and that's the first step you could take.
And that's what changed too for me, is I was in that like wheel of wanting to be better, doing it for a little bit, kind of doing the training programming, thinking I'm doing nutrition. And this does not mean like hire us. That's not what I'm trying to pitch right now. But when I sought out a coach to help me shortcut that journey and be with me in that process, everything changed for me. And I executed, I did the process, I had accountability with it. And I would not be here today without that aspect of it. So like I said, it's not me saying, hey, go hire a coach tomorrow, but this is me saying, go seek some type of community or accountability with it, and allow yourself to work smarter, not just work harder. Because I see women just spinning their wheels all the time in that area.
Yeah.
That's good.
So what is next for Kelsey? With not even having the 100 4 months ago, which was crazy if you think about it, and then training again for a big competition. I know that you talked about it before in like the podcast, but what is next in life for you? You can take it, you know,
in
like
any
a
direction,
year, but like in like the next couple of months, like what do you hope to come out of your life by the end of the year? Let's go with that.
There's a lot that I'm excited for with XYL and Expand, and that impact that I want to have with it, and going off the beaten path that I've seen before. So I'm going to take this in twofold. One is personal. I'm really excited to like reground myself in the basics, to be honest with you. Reground myself in the strength training, reground myself in the nutrition, reground myself in just like the habits that sometimes when you go after a really big goal, that they can skew a little bit. And so I'm really excited for that. It's just like honestly having my own stability there and not just having something to like train for right now. I needed it last year. I was excited about it last year, but I know with the season that I'm in business, you can't do all the things all the time. And yes, I'm going to still put a lot of dates on the calendar in the future. I still have really cool things I'm planning towards the back half of this year. But after HYROX, I'm really excited to like get myself really good, hormonally, externally, keep the momentum, keep promises to myself. And sometimes that looks like, and I don't want to say less is more, but better is better. Like just being better to be better versus like more training sessions, more of this. So that's, I think, personally. Secondly, business, which you know, kind of know some of the behind the scenes, is I'm really excited for where we're headed with it. I'm excited about the community that we're building, the mission that we're on. We just had a few events this past weekend, and it was really cool. And states and people that I don't know, but it's cool to see their Instagram story and be like, I stepped in my comfort zone. And I mean, like they're repeating the terminology in the mission, which is something that I'm really excited about, but also to grow the community, not just in volume and numbers, but to grow the relationships with people and to grow just really what I think that I was put on earth to grow and to build, which sounds really cheesy and cliche, but I feel like it's meant for that. So
I mean, this coming years, I mean, the rest of 2025 is going to be
y'all better buckle up,
phenomenal.
Baby. Yeah, and just also there's an area of growth that we've talked about in the business that I haven't shared externally, and it's to impact the younger generation too.
Stay tuned.
And it's really close to my heart because I think I love helping all women, all ages. Our events are for all women, all ages. But I also let's get to the root of the problem. Let's really help people form beliefs versus just break beliefs.
And that starts
a lot younger. And so as much as we're going to continue to grow our coaching and our events, and
that'll still be there.
And we're still really focused on that, but to also help individuals that are very malleable. And I think too, with the world that we live in with social media, and I'm holding up my phone for those that are listening, it's really important to have good people in your corner and good beliefs that you're getting instilled in you. And I feel I'm really protective over, I'm like mama bear mode over
Yeah.
young girls and
I mean,
college
like,
age girls and everything.
not gonna share what we're building out, but like,
Yeah.
I wish I had that when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I, lifted with the soccer coaches and
Yeah.
did all of that. But if I really knew, like, the mental standpoint of it, and, oh, I could lift this weight, but, like, in reality, I'm not feeling good when I do it. I'm not getting anything out of it. I mean, I'm going to go home and I'm probably not even sore because of it, because I wasn't lifting it properly. Or even, like, oh, I had a bad game or something like that. I didn't have the mental capacity back then that these girls should have now.
Yeah, and it's needed. And I think, too, to kind of bring this back full circle, is like this mentality and the way that you think is built. It's not just given in a way. And so I think nowadays people will have the automatic negative thoughts, or they'll question like, oh, can I do the thing? And then they're just going to believe it because they think that, well, Kelsey was born with something that I just don't have. And I thought that when I was younger. Like, well, they just have something that I don't have.
I mean, like, social media is so that. I can scroll on my phone and be like, I wish I looked like her.
Yeah.
Or I wish I could run 4 miles that quickly.
Yeah.
Anything.
And it's so, I mean, I'm not even that much older than you. Like, I'm not even 30 yet, but back in my day, like, Instagram was just a thing. Like, we just started.
Yeah.
So I think it's needed now more than ever. And I'm willing to put up one heck of a fight to help improve it. And it's not just me. I mean, there's so many businesses and companies that are really helping, and nonprofits that are helping, But I'm really firm in what values that I have and what Expand has. And I'm not deviating those. And through hell or high water, I'm determined to make an impact for the better there.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what her name was, but she just competed this past weekend.
Lily from
I mean,
Pennsylvania.
she was like so inspiring.
She's 12. Yeah.
I mean, I was watching the videos that Expand posted, and also I was seeing what her dad was posting and everything. Girl, she is
crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's seeing all those women that were at our event, and then like she's probably like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. I'm seeing this mom, 47-year-old.
There was another 50-year-old woman that she literally posted on her story. She's like, at 50, I decided to do powerlifting. I never thought that I would. It's like, that's all these limiting beliefs of age, of skill level, of doubts, of limitations. Like, we get to break them, and they don't get to be our story anymore. And that's, I just get so fired up about it because I believe them. And I have an amazing family and amazing upbringing. And I mean, I've been really blessed in how I've grown up, and I still had these thoughts, and I still had that lack of confidence. And so I can only imagine people that don't grow up also in great circumstances, how even more important this is too. So,
and that's why like the mindset when you're younger is so important.
So important.
And having like a mentor or somebody you can look up to, or lean on a coach or a friend to go to every weekly and just ask how were things, how was school, how was this practice, how did you do on this, how did you do on that. Not therapy, because I tried that in high school when it was not for me, but if you like switch it and you're talking to a coach of some sort, I can tell you my whole feelings of my last week, because I'm not thinking it as like therapy. But if I have a coach, Shelby, literally I could rant to her about my whole week, how everything's going, how my nutrition, lifting, everything. So of that standpoint of it, it's
we're not meant to do life alone.
Yeah.
And you've done this is why I wanted to give you a testament earlier. You've done an amazing job at seeking out people that challenge you to be better and that value what you potentially want to value in your life. And you do it at such a young age. But I think back to my coaches and people, like, I had great coaches. They spoke life into me. They were really empowering. That is not the case for 90% of people out there. And so that's just, it's so important. So important.
It's going to be, you guys better tune in.
We're coming, baby.
Okay. Seeking the Edge. Some people may not know what this means and why it's your podcast name. What does Seeking the Edge truly mean to you, and why does it tie into what we preach at XYL?
You are twisting the question back. I always ask people this question in interviews. Now it's coming back to me. So Seeking the Edge means so much more than physical to me. Yes, it can mean physical. It can mean do a half marathon. It can be sign up for an XYL event. It can mean run 100 miles because you're going to grow in that process. Right. But seeking the edge is truly seeking that next level that scares you a little bit, but is actually where you find your potential. Yeah. And I think one of the biggest lies we believe is we don't believe we have the potential within us that is actually in us. And I take it also from a faith lens of like, if you only knew all that God has for you and the potential that he put in with you, you wouldn't even entertain some of the doubts and thoughts. But we have to seek it. We can't just sit back and scroll Instagram or read a book and hope that these things happen to us. We have to step up, dust ourselves off, and go seek what is a little bit uncomfortable for us.
I love you explain it at every event, but I tell you all the time, the lines.
Oh, the lines? So it's so funny. I took a video of you. I was like, that's kind of it. I don't know. So, and you might explain a little bit different than me, but if you look at our XYL logo, is the L has 4 main like little slivers to it. It starts really big, then it gets smaller. It's smaller, then it's like a little sliver at the end. And we don't have it on here, but we can post this on social if we do. And so I talked about these 4 zones. I didn't coin this, but I think this is really important to look into. Is this first zone, which has the biggest chunk, is your comfort zone. Yeah. That is where you're comfortable. That's where your brain loves you to be at. It is known. It is safe. Your brain's like, amazing. Yep. We know she wakes up, she does this, she goes to bed, she's safe, she's alive.
It's all good with me.
Because your brain wants you to survive, but it doesn't necessarily mean it wants you to thrive, because thriving sometimes means stepping out and it's a little bit uncomfortable. And that might mean you never know. Yeah. So that's that first zone, right? We go out of that comfort zone, which is that second one, which is the second biggest, is the fear zone. It's the what if. What if I fail? What if I can't do the thing that I said that I'm going to do? Yep. The doubt, the fear, the hesitation, the questions.
I'm there right now.
Every zone's coming in. Like training for this half marathon, you might be like, I don't know how to do this, or I can't. All these doubts come in. And so as soon as we step out of that comfort zone, we bump up to that fear zone. And what a lot of people think is they bump up to it, they think, ooh, I'm not capable of it. I can't do the thing. And so they think the thing that they're doing is not meant for them. Right. Biggest lie they'll ever believe. So that third zone, if we keep persisting through that fear zone, is what's called the learning zone. Yep. I call this the wow, I have a lot to learn zone. Because if you're anything like me, you step out of your comfort zone, you persist through that fear, and you want to be amazing at the thing that you're doing. You want to be like, all right, great, I can run 100 miles tomorrow. Yeah. You don't realize you kind of suck at it, for lack of a better way to say it, being very bold. You don't realize you're really bad at the thing that you're trying to do. This might be lifting weights, for example. You might go in, I remember I would go to Ohio State, big rec center. Yeah. I would go in the middle. I was so nervous because all the guys were around. I'd be shaking. And then I literally had the bar trapped on my chest in a bench press. 20 guys come over to help me. I'm like, this is my worst nightmare coming to life. Oh, but I'm not really good at the thing yet. Yeah. Does that mean that I can't lift 65 pounds on bench? No. Yeah. But it means that I'm not good at it that moment. Right? So we then have to persist through. And this is our entire goal for XYL, is to get people to this last zone that's called the growth zone. Seeking the edge. And that's where you realize you did the thing that you didn't think that you could do, and you realize, what else in my life am I settling for that I don't think that I can do?
So many women show it.
So many. And they pursue it. Once again, this, whether it be the end of the L or the circles, it's not passive. I can't sit back and reach my growth zone and hope that it comes. It's an active process in pursuit of it. And so that means you're going to fall down a few times. That means you're going to have to get yourself back up. But when you keep persisting through, I would have never started a business if I didn't break the belief from a fitness standpoint that I did something I didn't think that I could do. Does that mean that I couldn't start a business? No. But it means I had a belief that was ruling over me that had no actual truth to it, but I believed it. And so that's why with XYL, we could easily go all online. We could easily just do the online coaching aspect, which people do amazing job. I'm not throwing shade, but we could easily just go online. Events are not easy to run. They're not cheap. I'll tell you that much. Like, they're not big money makers. But you need to experience this instead of just passively listen to this.
I mean, somebody can be listening right now and be like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. I could probably do it. But I mean, when you go and like witness, I mean, I was just there recording, but like, I'm like, holy you know, these women are so strong.
Yeah.
I mean, and you'll talk to them before. I talked to many of them before. They're like, I mean, I hope that I could do this today. I hope I can deadlift 350. And then they're like, oh, I didn't get it first try. Like, I'm going to try again. What do you know? They get it their next try.
Yep.
They are so, like, I mean, you know, I hope that people after this 5K that we do in May stay around, because they're probably scared to sign up for the 5K. Oh, I don't want to be the only one that signs up. I don't want to do this. Just wait until you see what these women are about to do.
Y'all just wait. Yes. And so go be active. Sign up for the thing. Not a plug, but a plug. Like, sign up for the 5K. Be in an environment that challenges you to grow, because when you do that, once again, we talked about this in Britt's episode, you reach a little bit higher. You reach a little bit higher. So, yeah, that's big. Yeah. I know we got to wrap up soon, but do you have any other last question?
Oh, I didn't even realize
I know. I could literally nerd out on this forever.
Okay, I have one last
question. Let's go a mic drop moment, like a bomb.
I mean, like, this is like, I told you, I have Sophia questions. Okay, out of all the crazy things that you do in your life, 100, HYROX, 48 states, 48 days, whatever, okay? What is one competition or challenge you want to compete once in your life before, you know, say the world ends?
Or I die. One of the two. One competition I want to compete in?
Okay, give me one competition, and where do you want XYL to be?
Okay, you know what actually went to my brain?
Okay.
And this has nothing to do with competitions, but I think about, and I really want to be a mom someday.
Yes.
Like that.
Dude, like, Kelsey, let me just tell you, will be the best mom ever.
Okay, I'm going to record that for my kids that watch it in like 20 years. I really want to be a mom someday. And I really value having a family, building relationship, and all of that.
She wants to live in a White House.
Oh, no, I have my house. I want a farm, give my chickens. And so I'll continue to push my limits physically. There's nothing right now where I'm like, oh, I really want to do that thing. It's going to come. I never thought I would do that 100. But as much with like building XYL and me pursuing my fitness, that also is something that's a big part of my heart, is wanting to build a really solid relationship and family, and that's grounded in the values.
So they're gonna be like, oh, there's a Lensman, you better watch out.
Hopefully it's not my last name though.
Oh crap! Yeah, you're right. No, they should just take your last name.
That's amazing. So,
I forgot that when you get married, you take your last name.
But yeah, so that's the one thing.
That's the blonde moment right there.
That's so good. Oh, that's the one thing. And then what was XYL? What was the other one?
XYL. And if you could think of any competition, what would you do?
Oh, for me personally?
Yeah. That you would love to compete in. XYL in one competition, and then we'll be done.
Oh man, competing.
Would you ever do an Ironman?
Just because that's my reaction, I probably would do it. Just because I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I could do it. That's exactly why I would do it.
Being the old woman, just like still in her 80s, like competing in the Ironman, HYROX, and people are just like, who is this woman?
I would love to do that. That's my goal in life. Is like, be physically fit now, but y'all just wait. Yeah. I would reluctantly do an Ironman, but I would do it not to just say that I've done it, but to know the process that I'd have to endure for it.
Yeah.
So I would do that. I want to climb some cool mountains too. Yeah. I could see myself, and I say this now, and it's not for everybody, I could see myself eventually doing some bodybuilding again, just because I haven't done it since like early 20s, but that process is not for everybody. Right. And I would want to make sure I'm in a really good spot to do it.
Okay, where do you want XYL?
An XYL? I can't disclose one of the biggest projects that we want to work on. But like, it's a movement, baby. Right. Like we ain't just coming to throw events.
It's not stopping. It's growing so much. And just with Seek the Edge Instagram, with XYL, like there's new followers daily. There's new people reaching out every day. Like,
and I'll say with that is I'm gonna continually seek God's will for it and not mine, because I can get my own way a lot, and I can plan.
Like, with yesterday, like writing the thank you notes, like I think that will always stay so very personal.
That's 100% what I want to. Yeah. And I say that now with being at the beginning stages, but I'm very particular about the values that we have, and I don't deviate from them. Right. And so like you writing literally a thank you, like not just congrats on your XYL event. Like you went into their PRs, and like it's personal. Yeah. We send a picture to everybody.
Which is so meaningful.
Like that's what I want it to be. It's not just an event you do, it's a movement you're a part of. And that's what I want to be really intentional about building. But I'm going to need amazing people and continually have those people in my life that help me. I cannot and will not be able to do it alone.
Right.
And so I'm going to continue to hopefully be in prayer to seek what God's will for it is. And also believe that he's going to put some amazing people and already has amazing people in my life to help me put gas to the fire and get this movement a little bit bigger than just what it is for me too.
Those are some good questions.
Mic drop, baby. So thank you. So those were great.
Yeah.
Like I can do an episode solo, but with you, 10 times better.
Co-host episode.
Let's go, baby. But I want to say thank you for being you.
Thank you.
Thank you for continually not just believing in my message, but living the message. And you have been, I've actually taken a lot. You don't realize this. And you're also like 10 years younger than me, which is crazy. But I have taken so many lessons from you in pouring into people. Like you were the first person to text me and build me up and gas me up. And when I don't even ask for it, and sometimes probably don't even deserve it to some extent, but you're the first person to be there for me. Yeah. And I was joking around I was talking with my friend and I was like, Soph literally got me a thank you basket for volunteering at my event that I did not even pay her for.
Well, because you don't understand. Yeah, I could volunteer and everything, but you believe in me and trust me to run your Instagram, edit these things, do this, do that, because you trust me and you believe in me and you see like the potential. So I'm so thankful that you see it and that I can have a mentor to like look up to and, I can shadow you in the summer, Miss Lensman.
She's actually going to be my intern, you know?
Like, it's just, I'm so thankful that you believe in me. So, there's many more gift baskets coming.
Which I'm not upset about them, to be honest with you. Oh, but thank you. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I could do this all day. This, lights me up. I get super excited. But I hope you take one thing from this episode, whether it be something that Soph says or myself say, and just like we talked about it, don't be passive about it. Put it into action and know that our community, myself included, Soph included, we are here to support you. So I might have never even knew your name existed before. If you message me or message us on XYL, we are going to support you and show up for you. And every relationship matters to me. And just like Soph says, we have big vision for it, but I continually want to operate like it's like 5 people. Yeah. And that's going to be something that I continually have to work on and improve, and even now improve, but is important to my heart and what we're building. So thank you so much. Continue to seek the edge, and I'll see y'all soon. Love ya.